Hi, friends. Welcome to today's message. I wanted to sit down and pull just a few cards to get a little bit of additional clarity and some extra details in regards to it. But as I was meditating today, I got a very clear message to share with you all, which is that everything is okay. I got a very clear image of someone that is currently worried that they have somehow strayed from their path or that they have missed something or somehow done something wrong. I got a very clear sense of like impending consequences, that kind of anxious worrying that leans quickly into anxiety because we can't quite pinpoint what its source is or where it's, potentially leading us if we allow ourselves to entertain that train of thought. But I want you to know that everything is okay. You are exactly where you are meant to be, and that everything is going according to plan, so to speak. And in time, you will understand this period that you were experiencing. What I was getting in that meditation is that there might be what I would am going to call mundane things that are kind of going like awry. It's like not nothing. Hello, not nothing. It's not that anything big is like blowing up. Like I'm not seeing any like massive life changing like tragedies, but there are like inconveniences or things that are popping up like accidents, or you're making mistakes and you're taking them to mean something much larger than what they truly are. Okay. There are things in life that do have spiritual roots and meaning behind them. There are some things that are just purely in the physical and have physical sources and solutions. And then there are things that are a mixture of both. But what I'm sensing is that you are taking everything as a sign. Everything means something. But and again, what I was getting is that this is someone who it's much easier to kind of remember and pinpoint the things that seem to go wrong versus the things that seem to go right. And so there is a need to kind of sit down and get in a clear space where you can identify the positives and the things that are in alignment with you right now, instead of the things that feel like they're out of alignment or indicators that somehow you are doing something wrong, because that's not what's going on right now. Okay. I'm seeing this feeling is rooted in some type of perceived missed opportunity in the past. What I'm really seeing is that um, this is like holding something against yourself because you feel like you didn't have the foresight in the moment, or this is like you did get a kind of intuitive nudge about a certain situation or maybe a person in a relationship. This feels more like a life situation, possibly a career choice with the amount of pentacles that are out, but this generally feels like a direction that someone took like in their life, which is why it feels a little bit more career oriented. This is like a decision of what to do with one's life, a decision about a path to take, about something to pursue that they feel like they should have seen. The Three of Pentacles is here, so this could also talk about working with someone. This is feeling like maybe people weren't to be trusted, or something would have been better built on one's own, or feeling like maybe this is even talking about that you feel like you took some type of shortcut, and that something would have turned out better if you had kind of taken the time to do so yourself. But generally, this is leaning towards a mistrust in the present moment of your foresight and your intuition now, and that kind of clairvoyant aspect where we were talking about, can I accurately see what is to come and then act from there? In the present moment, I'm seeing that this is putting you in a place of stagnancy. This is like hesitation about what type of path to take, what kind of next step to take. And again, this is because there's like this holding it against yourself, that you feel like where you are now is a mistake, that a choice that you made in the past was incorrect because it brought you to where you currently are, and where you currently are, the external is not reflecting what you believe it should be reflecting. And this is causing what this is meant to bring about is the ending of a perspective of this idea that I'm feeling like there's a kind of hopelessness entwined in this. There's a kind of powerlessness, like an undercurrent of that in certain situations. And I feel like this is meant to shake up what you believe you are capable of. I think this is, and I'm getting, it might be helpful to reflect on how past versions of you would handle the current situation, because I'm seeing there's a lot more internal growth than you are recognizing or giving yourself credit for. I think you, and the numbers that I'm getting are like 7 years, and that could be because of, Uranus just recently entering Gemini. That number is coming up where maybe 7 years, a version of you 7 years ago, you might want to take a look at. But I was even getting something happened in 2015 about that time. I was getting like early, maybe in the first half of 2015, but it doesn't have to be that. 2015 was just a year that really strongly came to mind about, there was some kind of situation that happened there where that version of you, I think, handled things very differently. Um, in terms of like your emotions and kind of, again, the decisions that you made as a result of those feelings. I think your perspective and just your capacity for, I just heard like life. Like it's not just one thing. I think you have grown so much, but there hasn't been maybe a lot of ways that has been reflected back to you where you see that. Right now it's just, again, it's easier to focus on the things that feel like they're going wrong. Um what is ahead of you in the near future is, and I am seeing that you are probably already aware of this, and this could be what is triggering these kinds of anxious thoughts and worrying. You will be faced with another opportunity. This feels like specifically like an opportunity that you were seeing as a way to kind of rectify whatever this past situation and decision was. But this again just feels like another opportunity for you to choose in your life what direction your life is going in. And this might even be an opportunity that is here now. I believe that we always, are in uh, a place to be able to enact our will and change our life immediately if we so choose. But I understand that there are like obligations, and that isn't always the most practical way to look at things. But I feel like, again, in front of you, there is another choice. There is another option that would allow you to lead the kind of life that I feel like you'd envision yourself truly this is like someone's like dream life fantasy. This is about taking the steps towards that and choosing to bring that out of the ether and into physical reality, into your experience. This is about allowing these past decisions that, again, you might term mistakes, but reframing that and saying, I'm taking that in as a lesson moving forward. This is not something that is going to hold me back. This is not oh, I should have known better. I now know better, and so I will do better. That was part of this whole process. That was a necessary learning moving forward. And now the path is more clear for me moving forward, having had this experience. Does that make sense? This is about empowering yourself. This is about choosing to make these perceived missteps mean something. And that's the best I can kind of get at what this feeling is. This feels like, it feels more important. It feels bigger than like my words are currently getting at. But this feels kind of like how you approach like your view of life, to be completely honest. This is talking about like your desire to live, and like what inspires you and moves you and makes you feel like you are contributing something meaningful to the world. Like that's what it feels like. And the only advice I have as a clarifier for that energy is to follow what it is that makes you passionate. Seriously, this is like something that you could dedicate yourself to, something that really interests you, that you want to learn about, that you want to teach people about. This is that like nothing can stop me kind of energy. Like, what is it that you really care about? What matters to you? What makes you want to get up in the morning. It's that kind of energy. I am going to pull an oracle for you guys, and then I will let you go. I appreciate you being here. I will probably do a mix of channeled messages and tarot, because I don't know. This wasn't an intentional channel, but it did come through very clearly in meditation. So I have pulled number 12, Pisces. It says bond. Let's see what the advice is. It says community is important. Look at where your loyalty lies. Ensure you know both sides of the story. Respect is needed on both sides for a true bond between people. Teamwork may be required to get the job done. A deep and healthy bond shares feelings, experiences, and common ground. We must be clear between our own emotions and those of someone else to avoid unhealthy enmeshment. All right, you guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope this helped. If it did, feel free to drop a like or a comment. I really do love hearing from you guys, and it helps me out. If you want to be notified next time I post a video, feel free to subscribe and hit that little notification bell. All right, hope to see you guys next time. Bye.